Hello there. How are you doing? I'm at Euston Station, where the very last Northern Line train has just departed. But, and this is for the first time in quite a while, if we cross over here to the northbound Victoria line, it's just coming up on 1:45 in the morning. For the first time in a very long time, Night Tube is back. Well, kind of back. And to explain that, I'm actually going to head southbound down to Oxford Circus. So, see you there.
Once again, there is no more Northern Line services from this station this evening. Platforms 1, 2, 3 and 6 are now closed. We only have the Victoria Line service running for Night Tube.
Okay, next train, 7 minutes. Well, here we are. Night Tube's back, baby. Okay, so here we are, Oxford Circus. First Night Tube ride in 1 second. Okay, I just checked with Wikipedia. First Night Tube since the 20th of March 2020. Apparently that's when it was suspended because of COVID. Now, reason it was suspended, very similar to the Waterloo and City line, which I posted a video about when that came back, link up in the corner somewhere. Night Tube got suspended, not only because night was dead because of lockdown, so there was no nightlife whatsoever, but also so that the part-time Night Tube drivers, back when the pandemic kicked off, could all jump over to being full-time and staff the trains there. Because obviously there was tons of people self-isolating, drivers not available, trains not able to run, so they took all the Night Tube drivers and put them on the day shifts, kept the service running. But now, back here, nearly 2 years later, it's back finally. Kind of. I keep saying kind of. Let's go to the Central line and I'll explain why kind of. Next train, not for another 16 minutes. That's the one thing I haven't missed about Night Tube. And I'm going to take you over one stop, over to Bond Street. Probably be quicker to walk there, to be honest. And I'm going to show you why Night Tube is only kind of back. Let's go.
Yeah, this announcement for the police officer on the Central Line westbound. Yeah, can you have a conversation with the blonde lady in the thin lad in the blue puffer jacket just behind you? So on the edge of the platform, covering each other. Yeah, back straight in front of you. Can you just have a conversation with those two and tell them to stay well away from the platform edge? I have had a search controller calling up with concern.
Just Night Tube things.
Central Line service calling all stations to White City. This train is now ready to depart. Taxi in the closing doors, mind the doors. This is Circus speaking. Apologies for the delay. Just spoke to the line controller. Seems that Bond Street Station is currently closed. We'll be departing to continue to the next station. Once again, Bond Street Station is currently closed.
So much for that then. Just night tube things. Right. Hello from Marble Arch, I guess. I wanted to show you Bond Street, but it's closed. Hashtag just night tube things. So we are here at Marble Arch. I wanted to take you guys to Bond Street because Jubilee Line goes through Bond Street. And last year, before Night Tube was suspended, the Jubilee Line was part of Night Tube, as was the Piccadilly and Northern Line, and also London Overground. It's a little bit just here. But tonight, the return of Night Tube is just the Central and Victoria Line. So you can see here, previously, Night Tube was the Central, Piccadilly, Jubilee, Northern, Victoria lines, as well as this little stretch of London Overground here. And currently, tonight, we just have the Victoria and Central lines. Hopefully, the rest will be back soon. In fact, the Overground section will be back next month. But for now, for these few weeks, it's classic. It's like the start of Night Tube all over again, where we just had a couple of lines. In fact, all the way back when Night Tube started, I was on a BBC Three documentary all those years ago. I'll leave a link to it somewhere if you want to go and see that. It's on the BBC Three YouTube channel. Very cringeworthy. But I had to come back down here for the first night of Night Tube, man. This is sacred ground. Tell you what, let's jump over and keep going west all the way to Ealing Broadway. Let's go.
This is a Central Line train to White City. This is a Central Line train to White City.
So I thought we were going to Ealing Broadway, but it turns out this train's only going to White City. And that brings up another thing that I want to tell you guys about when I said that Night Tube is only kind of back. So let's get to White City, have a look around there, because there's one more thing that I've got to explain to you guys.
This is White City Station, where this train terminates. All change please, all change, all change. Once again, this is White City Station, where this train terminates.
Hello from White City. Now, to see if we can find an Ealing Broadway train. Aha, this might tell. Part suspended, Ealing Broadway to White City. That explains the lack of Ealing Broadway trains. Let's try and find out exactly why that is. Okay, so I'm just checking the TfL website now. As you can see, everything is service closed, service closed, service closed, except for the Central Line, showing as part suspended, and that is services operating between Hainault and White City, Leytonstone and Loughton approximately every 30 minutes, but no service on the rest of the line due to strike action by the RMT. Interesting. So no trains to Ealing Broadway because of strike action. What exactly is going on? Well, you see, it's actually been a bit touch and go as to whether Night Tube was starting tonight or not. In fact, I've been in central London for the last few hours waiting to see exactly what happens. And it has started in some capacity, but the Victoria line also has minor delays right now, and the Central line is not running to certain parts of Night Tube, and that's because of strike action by the RMT. So you might remember how earlier on I said that Night Tube was staffed by separate drivers who all jumped over to working sort of day shifts during the pandemic to keep the service running. Well, now that Night Tube's been reintroduced, TfL aren't actually hiring new Night Tube drivers. They're just going to be using the day drivers. They're going to, instead of having part-time dedicated drivers for Night Tube, it's just going to be one pool of drivers. Day drivers will be working night shifts as well. And this has led to some industrial action and dispute with the RMT. And that's why right now there is actually minor delays on Victoria Line Night Tube and also part suspension on Central Line Night Tube. Because technically we're in the middle of a strike right now. There was a big strike on Friday which affected day services, and this is a more nuanced one today on Saturday night which is just affecting Night Tube. But there are strikes planned for every Friday and Saturday, I believe, going into December. So let's hope that there is some kind of resolution soon. We can get back to a full Night Tube service, as well as Night Tube returning to the Jubilee, Piccadilly and Northern Line as well. So if you're using Night Tube anytime soon, bear in mind it might not be the most reliable thing to depend on to get you where you're going right now until everything's settled down a little bit. It's not the fantastic momentous launch like it was when we first got Night Tube. More of a soft, quiet launch. There isn't a load of press out here tonight or anything. So think twice about whether you want to depend on it. But I do need to depend on it right now to get back into central London. So let's hope there's an eastbound Central Line train soon. Yeah. Let's get back into central London.
Trains ready to depart, stand clear of the doors.
So here we are, back at Oxford Circus. You know what, I'm actually quite surprised about how many people are here, given the circumstances that we weren't even sure if Night Tube was going to run until a few hours ago, but quite popular straight away. Just proves how worth it Night Tube is. So here we are at Oxford Circus Station. It's coming up on 3 AM, and for the first time in nearly 2 years, Night Tube trains are back rumbling underneath the streets of London. Hey, thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been taking Trains 101. Have a good night. See ya.